And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheapludez, and I'm back with another episode of the Squad Tips series. In this series, I take your teams and I try to improve them to the best of my ability. Now, normally you wouldn't trust a guy wearing an Eddie Bauer shirt that is both plaid and denim, but I promise that you can trust me. Before we get started, let's do parameters. So, I post on the community post. You can tell how old I am. I'm talking about message boards. But I ask for a variety of things. Anybody can submit, by the way. But I ask for playstyle, MT amount, what cards you really like, which cards you green with the most, who you don't want to get rid of, etc. So that way I can get the best possible idea of what's best for your team. So shout out to my man Lance. We're going to do his team first. As you can see, pretty solid squad. I got 5 teams to do today. So we got Lonzo Ball, Clyde Drexler, who, by the way, if you guys do not have this Clyde Drexler card, I'm probably, if anybody doesn't have this card and they ask me for a team review, at least in the next 2 weeks, I'm probably going to say go get Clyde Drexler before the season ends. Antoine Jameson, Ben Simmons, Dino Raja, Donovan Mitchell, Danny Granger, Paul George, Detlef, Draymond, and then Ray Allen, Alonzo Mourning. He's running like a 12 or even 13 man. I think Sean Marion was the other guy, but I wouldn't recommend using him. So your playstyle is similar to mine, where there's just an absurd amount of passing until you get either an open shot or an open lane. I feel that. That's what I do as well. The releases you do the best with are Antoine Jameson, so Dante Exum base, Danny Granger, so base 29 on quick, and Ray Allen's base, who is honestly one of the best in all of 2K. Sean Marion, you also play pretty well, and you shoot well with Sean Marion. Okay, so right off the bat, I would say Detlef is really good, by the way. Like, Detlef is incredibly good. That's someone I would definitely recommend keeping. Now, right off the bat, I would say a couple different things. One, I would sell Paul George ASAP. Just because now is probably going to be the most MT you can possibly get for him. So that would actually be a good card to get rid of, at least in the short term. Like, getting 70-80k for this card, that'll probably go down to like 40 or 50 would be a good call. So I got the hiccups. I've been drinking Red Bull all day. Mistake. And no, I'm not paid advertising for them. I'm not on their radar. Trust me, I don't jump out of planes or do backflips on dirt bikes. So I would get rid of Paul George. That'll net yourself like an additional 70 or so K. At the very least, like 65. So that's definitely going to help your team out. I mean, you're doing okay on MT. You have 20k MT, but I can sell people if needed. Yeah, Detlef, I would say he's still going for over 100k. So I would play around with him and kind of determine how well you do with Detlef Schrempf overall. Because in all indication, he's a very, very good card, but he might not fit your playstyle. On the outside looking in, I think he does, and Danilo Gallinari's release is really nice. So I would say keep him for now. But yeah, Paul George I would definitely get rid of right off the bat. I would definitely start Ray Allen, like, for sure. If he is that good for you, and I know he is a good card, he plays good defense. Not start, but use him on your bench unit. He makes the most whites out of like any card, and he can shoot contested threes like nobody's business. So I don't know how much time you have realistically. If you do have like a significant portion of time, I would recommend trying to grind at least to get this card, which is Wes Unseld, if it's at all possible. Now, if it's not possible, I totally understand. He is a little undersized. Best way I can describe him is he's just like way better Draymond Green. Like, that's the best way I can describe Wes Unseld. Draymond himself is really, really good. Though, the one thing I'm noticing on your bench is you have a kind of a lack at the center. I wish I would have asked if you do point center a lot, because if you do point center a lot, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you don't, Karl Anthony Towns is actually really, really good. You can get him for really, really cheap. You can get the hero version for like 15k. He's really good. If you don't run point center and you use him just as a traditional center, Karl Anthony Towns is great. Now, if you want someone who's going to run more of a point center, a guy who came out that can hold it down until we get some like more official centers, because we didn't really get a lot of big men this season that are at a like high tier, that are actually affordable. Like, obviously we got like Dirk and Jokic and stuff, but Maxi Kleber is actually really, really good. You are going to be undersized running him and Draymond at the power forward center combo, but at the same time, he's a nice card. Like, he's really good. He's fast. He can shoot. He's got a really weird... Let me look up his release, because it's a strange one. Like, it's one that not a lot of people have, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least a lot of good cards. D'Angelo Russell. The best way I can describe Maxi Kleber is he's very similar to Wayne Embry, but a little bit taller. But he's got great stats. He's got a good badge count. He can shoot the 3. He can ball handle with an 86 ball handle. He does have some issues on the defensive end, but he does... No, actually he doesn't. He has like full defensive badges. This card is no joke. I highly recommend going and grabbing Maxi Kleber. He's only going to run you like 7k. So that would probably be my general... Yeah, because I would go... This would be probably your ideal... Yeah, Detlef, Draymond, Maxi Kleber, and then you can have Danny Granger in there too if you need someone who's going to be a little more versatile. And then Alonzo Mourning, if you need more of like a defensive stopper, you can definitely still use him. But this is what I would have your bench looking like for the most part. Like I said, Wes Unseld, if you have the time to go try to get him and Brandon Roy, I understand if you do not. That being said, your starting lineup is totally fine. Like Lonzo Ball, Clyde Drexler, Antoine Jameson, Ben Simmons. Honestly, I would run Maxi Kleber instead of Dino Raja. I know, this is coming from me, #1 Dino stan in the world, but Maxi is just much, much better than Dino, and that really hurts me on like a molecular level to say. But he is. For the most part, I wouldn't try to go overboard on your MT. Like I said, I would sell Paul George unless he's locked in, which I didn't ask. Probably should have done that. Then I would sell him. Danny Granger, for his price, is not worth selling, in my opinion, because of how good he still is and how little MT he's actually going for. Now, if you can't sell Paul George and you're not huge on Detlef, I would sell Detlef, honestly. He's a very good card, but we're going to be getting cards of his, you know, style for a long period of time. And honestly, if you were to get rid of Detlef and just run Danny Granger right here, it's not going to be a huge detriment to your team. Like, Danny Granger is still really, really good at this point. So, I hope that helped you out in some way. Personally, I respect the running Ben Simmons at power forward thing. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. And him and Maxi Kleber will be a really, really good defensive front court for you. And it's not going to cause you too much of a headache on the MT front. So, let me know down in the comments if that helped you out, my man Lance. I hope it did. Alright, let's go on to our second team. Let me find it here. I have them all saved. Let's see. Here we go. Alright. My man Killam. So you're running Luka Doncic, the hero version. I really like his card art, by the way. Diamond Clay. Honestly, Diamond Clay is really good. I don't really have much to say about that. Kawhi Leonard, level 40 reward. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. You troll. Karl Malone, no way. And then you're running D-Rob. D-Rob is next level. Like, he's so good. You're running Hero Magic. Okay, so you have a pretty solid team. Fournier. Okay, I like that. Malik Sealy. I'm not a huge fan of him, but you know what I'm saying. It's cool. Antoine Jameson. And Giannis. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. PD Retro. Gotcha. So, you have 500k MT. Your coach is Rick Carlisle. 5 out, etc. Pretty standard gameplay. Okay. Right off the bat, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this team. That's kind of what I wanted to highlight with it. I know you like Karl Malone, but I promise Karl Malone's going for like 30, 40k, and I know I said I was going to do this for a lot of teams, but honestly, Maxi Kleber is probably better for your team than Karl Malone. Like, overall, he just is. Either him or Draymond. They're going for about the same price as Karl Malone. I highly recommend getting rid of Karl Malone and switching him out with one of those two guys. Draymond's a little more expensive, around 30, 40k. Maxi Kleber is really cheap, around 5 or 6k, and can hold it down for a little bit. On the bench unit, like, you have Fournier locked in, so you might as well use him. Magic's Magic. Not going to tell you to get rid of him. You have 2 of the best point guards in the game. Malik Sealy, very solid, and honestly, for what he's going for, it's really not worth getting rid of him. Jameson's free card. Keep him. Retro Giannis. I said Giannis. Not worth getting rid of. So I think the only upgrade to your team would be at the power forward position on the starting lineup, and I think either Maxi Kleber or Draymond Green makes the most sense as of right now. Also, they're not crazy expensive, so you can save some of your MT for the OP-ass cards we're getting in Season 6, because we're definitely getting out-of-position cards starting next season, you know. 2K kind of already teased it by saying next season will be peculiar, which I think definitely means that we're going to see some, like, out-of-position, possibly, like, some double-take 2-packs, stuff like that. Don't be surprised if we see point guard Draymond, I promise. I've been saying it for a while. Next up, we're going to help my man Alexander out. So, you got Don Bussy. I don't think I'm saying that right. It's probably like Busse. I just like saying Don Bussy. Tyler Hero. Diamond. He's actually really good, so I'm not really hating on that. Diamond Clay. Okay. You got a really nice budget squad. I'm liking this. Lamar Odom. I totally forgot about Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom, by the way, for kill him, I would say Lamar Odom would be another very, very nice option at the power forward position as well. Sorry I didn't bring that one up, but Karl Anthony Towns. I'm just going to assume you have regular. If you have the hero one, it doesn't really change much. Hero Donovan Mitchell. Cool. Jack Marin. Okay. I like where this is going. Malik Sealy. Yes. That's what I was also going to say. My man, kill him if you can. Try to get Clyde Drexler. Like, I promise, he is really that good. Because I'm going to tell this guy basically the same thing anyway. So, Crochet. Oh, man, I don't really see anybody running the Crow Show anymore. And then the GOAT, Dino Raja. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? You have about 200k, and I'm trying to get a starting point guard because I don't like either's release. Okay. Yeah, no worries. I also want to replace Marin for the same reason and get someone as good with great release for cheap or free. You green the most with Clay, Karl Anthony Towns, Odom, Sealy, and you're pretty good with Crochet. Okay. You like to 5-out, slash, and 3-hunt with my guards, and pick and pop. You run Nate McMillan, and you also said keep up the great content, smiley face. Appreciate you. Anyways, alright, so you have about 200k. Right off the bat, I would say Jack Marin is really good. I mean, if you don't like him that much, I totally understand. One guy I would definitely go out and get ASAP if you can is Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler is so good. For a free card, he is incredible. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's that good. And he's 6'7", which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in every 2K game he's always been 6'6", but this one's 6'7". I don't know. He can play either the shooting guard or the small forward very, very well. You could have him come in and play small forward and move Clay down to the bench shooting guard if you don't like Jack Marin. That I understand completely. Now, that being said, you do want point guard replacements as well. Okay, yeah, point guard replacements are a little bit tougher. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is really, really that good. So it's kind of tough to really tell you one way or the other which point guard that you should go against. I don't know, that's tough. These guys are just so good on their own that it's really hard to tell you exactly who to grab. I don't know how far you were in Spotlight Sims, but like John Wall, obviously, if you're close to it, might be a good option, but at the same time, like, I understand. Honestly, another guy that might help you out that's relatively cheap would be Lonzo Ball. Like, Lonzo Ball is very cheap. He's still incredibly good. You can pick him up for not really anything, about 30, 40k right now, which is a small price to pay. Another very good point guard that might work out for you, that's, I'm not even kidding, like 10k, is Throwback Moments John Stockton. Look, he has size issues for sure, but he's really, really good. Like, no joke, he's probably the most slept on point guard from last season. Now, like I said, he's going to be a placeholder at best, but for about 12k, I don't really know if you can do much better as far as point guards. Honestly, Oscar Robertson's about the same price, and he's still really good as well. So, I wouldn't sleep on him. How do you feel about Kyrie? Because you can go do the Kyrie challenges, the Kyrie spotlights, and get Kyrie relatively easy too, but That's a lot of work, and I don't think Kyrie personally, in my own opinion, is really that great. So I would probably go for, one of these two guys, Lonzo or John Stockton. I think that makes the most sense. Or, like I said, you could also go for either Kyrie or Oscar Robertson if you need a little bit more size. That definitely works out as well. I think that's your best option. If you want to go even cheaper than that, though, you can pick this guy up for around 5K, and I promise you he's still incredibly good, which is Bob Sir. He's like legitimately one of my favorite cards in the game. He has the same jump shot as Rex Chapman. If you want to go try that out, that works really, really well. But I think right off the bat, doing that would probably be the best way, and grabbing Clyde Drexler, like doing those challenges, they're not crazy hard, you just got to play some games. That improves your team by a significant margin. Now, if you wanted to upgrade from Crochet, like I've said, Maxi Kleber is really, really good. Like, he is incredibly good, so it wouldn't be a terrible idea to maybe upgrade Crochet. Other than that, if you like Karl Anthony Towns and you're wet with him, that makes total sense. But doing something like this might be a good option. It'll really make your team a little bit better. Boom. You're running Lonzo Ball, Tyler Hero, Clyde Drexler, Lamar Odom, and Karl Anthony Towns. Great lineup. Off the bench, you're running Donovan Mitchell, who I know you don't like his jump shot, but he's still an incredibly good point guard. Klay Thompson, who is a 3-and-D monster. Malik Steely, who is a 3-and-D monster. Maxi Kleber, who can take ball handling responsibilities from Donovan Mitchell if he needs to. And, of course, Dino Rogers still here as well. So, hopefully this helps you out. I think this is a pretty good mix-up of your team that'll definitely help you out in both like offline and online situations, but at the same time, it's not going to overhaul your MT. You're still going to have a bunch of MT left after this move. So I think it works out pretty well. I mean, like Maxi Kleber will cost you like 7K. Clyde Drexler will cost you nothing. Lonzo Ball will cost you about 30-40K. If you want to go Bob Sura, you can get him for like around 10. So hopefully that helps you out, my man. This is probably the best thing you can do heading into Season 6 without killing your MT. Just grab a couple pretty good budget guys. Hold it down. Alright, so next up we got my man Big Jack. Shout out to you, man. Donovan Mitchell, Klay Thompson, okay, right off the bat. Malik Sealy, okay. Common themes here. I noticed you don't have Maxi Kleber already, which means I will probably tell you to get him at some point. Starting lineups, fire. Like, it's fine. Jose Calderon. Yeah, Jose Calderon, you do have him evoed up, so that's tight. I like Jose Calderon a lot. He's actually significantly better than you would expect. Zach LaVine. Okay. Really solid budget squad. Crochet, Mark Gasol. Okay, so right off the bat, what are you running with here? You got about 14,000 MT. I know how you play and everything, so no biggie on that. You don't even need to tell me. Jose Calderon's a really good free option. I know you mostly play offline, so it's not really that big of a deal. Running about 14,000 MT, which I don't think is great, but it's not terrible. If you really wanted to make any additions to the team, like I've said previously, on every team that I've done, Maxi Kleber really is that good. Whoa, not that Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber really is that good, and he's going for around 6K. So you can make a huge upgrade to your team without killing your MT. I think Buddy Hield is still really good, especially for offline games, so I don't think it's necessary to really go after him. Like I've said before as well, Clyde Drexler, very, very helpful. You can do that just by playing various games, so you don't even have to put any MT into it. You don't have to like use your team. You don't even have to win the games. You can just get Clyde Drexler by just playing the games. Now, if you're at the point where you're still back on like Gilbert Arenas or something, I still recommend kind of putting your head down and trying to grind for Clyde Drexler just because he improves your team so much. Maxi Kleber, you could switch him out for Crochet or Marc Gasol. He plays well at the power forward or the center position. Zach LaVine, I think, is still a good card, but if you were to go get Clyde Drexler, you could drop Malik Sealy or Klay Thompson down into that small forward position, and it improves your team like a significant margin. Other than that, let's see, who else? There are some moments guys who are pretty good that are relatively cheap that you could go for, but I would wait till we get like a super pack for those. I guarantee we're going to be getting super packs this upcoming week, like a season 5 super pack or something, so a lot of these cards will be a lot cheaper. In the meantime, though, like Zach LaVine's fine, Buddy Hield's fine, Calderon's fine. You just don't want to make any crazy overhauls to your team. But like I said, if you want to make an overhaul down here, Kleber works really well. Honestly, you could even play him in the starting lineup over Jameson, move Jameson down if you wanted to. And Clyde Drexler, if you have that grind in you and you can get it, I totally recommend that. One of your weaker positions would be shooting guard, in my opinion. So if it's possible at all, and you can get this grind done, Brandon Roy would be a great option if you have that chance. Or play some TTO, get my man Kermit. I know it's impossible. I played like 200 games and haven't got this dude to drop, but if you got it in you, I recommend doing it. But hopefully that helps you out. If you don't want to spend money on Kleber, you can also get him to drop from TTO. And honestly, that's a really good TTO reward. So hopefully that helps you. Shout out to you, man, for always submitting your team. I appreciate that. I don't think I picked you yet, so cool. And finally, my man, Zach. Let's see. We got Lonzo Ball. I like that. Kawhi. Okay. Malik Sealy. Oh, you're running like basically 2 Kawhis. Oh, you got Wes Unseld. Yup. Wes Unseld, my literal favorite card in my starting lineup. Moses Malone, I don't know if it's badged out. Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Oh, you already got Clyde Drexler, so there goes whatever tip I was going to give you right there. Jameson, okay. Sidney Wicks and Dino, okay. I like Sidney Wicks. It depends if he's badged up or not, I suppose. If Sidney Wicks is badged up, I honestly think he really is good. You have 200 KMT, Steve Kerr is your coach, 3 hunting is your main thing with occasional drives and stuff. Okay. Like I said, you don't want to go all out and hemorrhage your MT going into Season 6 because we're going to be getting like a bunch of out-of-position cards and stuff like that. Guarantee we see a point guard Giannis, a point guard Ben Simmons, or a point guard like Draymond or LeBron or something. Like, we're going to see some big point guards in Season 6. That's guaranteed. Every season, 2K is going to have a new thing to try to sell packs with. Last season, this season was Dark Matters. Next season is probably going to be out of position, guys. So, definitely... Oh, wrong Dino. Jesus. So, definitely going to want to save some MT. Your team's great. Like, I like this team a lot. This is very similar to the team I run. Even down to the fact that you're running, like, the same big man combo I run Clyde Drexler as well. Sidney Wicks is a free card, so it's kind of hard to really like tell you to upgrade that. I think your only upgrade option right now is just to upgrade off of Dino. I love Dino. Trust me, it hurts me to say that, but Dino. And I think the 2 options, obviously, Maxi Kleber and Karl Anthony Towns, are the 2 best options. You're not going to spend an absurd amount of MT upgrading those 2. Obviously, do not sell Dino. Keep Dino for any Amethyst-based challenges and stuff like that, but I think at this point, with the squad you're running, I know it hurts me to say it. Like, I'm #1 Dino stan in all of, at least the Midwest. And I have to tell people to get rid of Dino, and that breaks my heart. But I think it's time. Like, Karl Anthony Towns is better for size purposes. He's also, he's not necessarily a better shooter, but he has a different jump shot. He's really easy to green. Kleber's going to be better as like a primary ball handler and defender, but he isn't going to be as good. I mean, depending on how you feel about the jump shot, I suppose. Oh, yeah, jump shots. Forgot. Yeah, you're running... Okay, so, I mean, you green a lot with, like, Jameson and Kawhi. Okay, yeah, I mean, normal. Another card that I'd recommend going for... You know what? I was going to say Ray Allen, but I mean, who's he replacing at this point? Like, Jameson's fine. I like Jameson a lot. Now, if you're having any issues with Jameson or you don't like him at the small forward slot, like, this free Ray Allen works really well. You can always use him. You have Clyde Drexler, so I'm guessing you have Ray Allen as well. And Donovan Mitchell, so... Yeah, I don't really think there's many upgrades. I think the upgrade on your bench center is probably the best, most logical thing you could do. Especially just going into Season 6. And I know I keep telling everyone to get Maxi Kleber, but for the price he's going for, I really just don't think there's a better big man, so there's no point in me suggesting anyone else. Like, yeah, I could suggest a 60k big man, like go get Marc Gasol or something. But at the same time, I think Maxi Kleber is actually better than him. But, you know, now I'm on that subject. Pink Diamond Marcus Hall is still available. Same with Pink Diamond DeMarcus Cousins. Those are really good cards, but I think Marcus Hall is going for about 26K. I just think Maxi Kleber is better than this card for like significantly cheaper. Better defender, better ball handle, better shooter, better everything, man. So, I mean, that would be what I would recommend. Now, my personal choice between Karl Anthony Towns and Kleber, I would pick Kleber personally, but I know a lot of people like Cat, so it's really just a personal preference thing. So I hope that helped you out at all. Other than that, the rest of your team, don't change a thing. Like, Sidney Wicks, if he has badges on him, is still really good. And he's a free card, so you can't really go wrong. But as always, it has been your boy Cheapludez. Thanks for waiting a couple weeks for the next edition of the Squad Tip stuff. I've been busy doing Spotlight Sims and other stuff, so I haven't really had a chance to make these videos, but I do appreciate you guys holding out and waiting. And then when I posted about it 2 weeks later with no word, you guys still showed up to submit your team, so I appreciate that. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to be getting something crazy tomorrow. I don't really know what it is. Could be St. Patrick's Day theme, but I think regardless, it's going to be Idols or Flash. I'm just not entirely sure which one of those two we're going to get, so definitely stay tuned. I'll have a bunch of content out tomorrow. In spite of that, I suppose. Not like I'm going to pull anything in my pack open. You guys know how it goes. This weekend, I'll be streaming as well. I got a new episode of the podcast coming out this weekend. If you guys are interested, it has nothing to do with 2K, but you know how it goes. As always, man, it's been your boy Cheapludez. I appreciate you guys. Peace.